You're standing in line at a coffee shop. The world is moving around you, the hiss of the espresso machine, the clinking of spoons, but you're not really there. You've been staring at the same spot on a stranger's backpack for 6 minutes. Why? Because inside your head, you are absolutely destroying an ex-partner in an argument that happened 3 years ago. You're hitting them with logic they can't handle. You're calm, you're articulate, and for once, you have the last word. It's glorious. Or maybe you're in a soul-crushing office meeting. Your boss is talking about synergy and you're nodding like a robot. But in reality, you're currently a tactical genius. A sudden emergency just hit the building and you, the quiet one in the corner, are the only person who knows exactly how to save everyone. You can feel the adrenaline. You can see the look on your manager's face when they realize you're the hero. You aren't an intern, you're a legend. And then, snap. The barista shouts your name for the 4th time. Oat milk latte for Mark. The heroic lighting vanishes. The dramatic soundtrack in your brain cuts to static. You blink, realize you've been standing there with your mouth slightly open, and now the entire line is looking at you like you're a broken NPC. If that specific wave of shame makes you want to delete your existence, welcome to the club. You belong to a group of people who don't just daydream. You build high-definition, cinematic empires behind your eyelids. To the outside world, you're just a guy waiting for coffee. But on the inside, you're living a life that's 10 times more exciting than the one you're actually in. Why does your brain choose a fake conversation over a real one? It's simple. Real life has no undo button. Real people are clunky. They interrupt you. They don't follow the script. You try to be cool and you trip over your words. You try to be deep and they change the subject. But in the scenario, you are the director, the lead actor, and the final judge. You can rewind the tape. You can perfect the punchline. You can simulate the exact emotional closure you're starving for. Your brain has discovered a massive loophole. It can give you a massive dopamine hit from a simulated victory. You're literally getting high on your own thoughts. It's the ultimate survival hack for a world that feels a bit too flat and a bit too boring. But here's where the action turns into a tragedy. Your brain is a learning machine, and it's starting to learn that it doesn't need real people to feel important. Why deal with the friction of a real relationship, the risk of being ghosted, the fear of being rejected, when the version of that person in your head is always perfectly tuned to your frequency? This is what we call maladaptive daydreaming. It starts as a safe room, but eventually it becomes a prison. Once you start preferring the simulation, the real world begins to feel like a low-budget movie with the sound turned off. You surface from a 40-minute mental blockbuster, only to find yourself sitting in a dark room with a cold cup of tea and a pile of laundry. That feeling? That's emotional jet lag. It's the heavy, nameless shame of realizing you just traded an hour of your life for a ghost. You know the drill. You put on your headphones, you hit that one specific main character playlist, and suddenly a walk to the grocery store isn't just a walk, it's a high-stakes cinematic montage. You're walking a bit faster, your jaw is set, you're looking out the bus window like a tragic hero in a Netflix drama. You're getting an adrenaline rush from a story that will never happen, performing for an audience that isn't there. It feels epic in the moment, but it's a massive energy drain. You're spending your best creative power on people who don't exist, rehearsing for a future that never comes, while your actual life is quietly evaporating in the background. This habit didn't start because you're crazy or lazy. It started because you needed an exit door. Maybe your childhood was too quiet. Maybe you felt too much for a world that told you to be less. You built these worlds to survive. You didn't just imagine them to escape, you built them to stay sane. The tragedy isn't your imagination, that's your greatest power. The tragedy is that you've decided your best version is only safe when it's invisible. You've started to believe that the brave, articulate hero only exists when your eyes are closed. So we aren't here to kill the dreamer. We're not shutting down the theater. We're here to realize that the person in your head, the one who stands up for themselves, is actually you. Those scenarios aren't just fake, they are blueprints. The real mission is to take that internal richness and slowly, awkwardly leak it into reality. It means having that difficult conversation instead of just rehearsing it 50 times in the shower. It means showing your real, messy self to a real person. Yes, it will be unscripted. Yes, it will be awkward as hell. But a messy, unscripted life is the only one that can actually love you back. If this hit a nerve, the kind that makes you want to look away, you're not alone. You adapted to survive. Now you just have to decide if you're ready to actually live. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's stop rehearsing and start living. I'll see you in the next one.